Hello, welcome back to Creep Week, and this is not your house. First in what may be a double bill of Creep Weeks, because I'm not sure how long this is going to last us, but I thought I'd start on the title screen so you can just hear this cacophony that is the main menu. But this is sort of a choose-your-own-adventure, sort of point-and-clicky droppy, I think. So let's just jump straight in. Roger always knew if he were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. So he readied his house key before stepping out of the vehicle, keeping it ready as he walked to the trunk of his car. There's Rog. He hangs his groceries from his wrists, keeping his fingers free to open the front door without fumbling. As Roger makes his way to the porch, his eyes start darting between the house's corners. That's the shed helpfully highlighted for us there. He'd read about a young woman being ambushed in their driveway the week before. He tries to put it out of his mind by counting how many steps it takes him to reach the front door. But he can't stop listening for the sound of someone rushing toward him. There was a gentle breeze and the white noise of distant traffic. Roger assures himself he is right to remain vigilant. It only takes a split second for someone to get the drop on you. Steady with the key now. Smooth is fast. Roger's key slides in on the first try. Won't turn. Roger removes his key and inspects it. It's engraved with a large H. Definitely the correct key. Roger tries the key again. Locked. Jammed. Broken, maybe? Roger takes a step away from the door and scans the area for suspicious persons. He sees no one. He releases his grasp on the key and leaves it in the lock. He drops his grocery bags on the porch. He tries furiously to turn, pull, and push on the key and door handle every which way. Without success. Roger hears something inside. A shadow passes by the window. It looks like someone's silhouette through the curtain. Roger pounds on the door. Open up this instant. The police are en route. The door unlocks from the inside. Can I help you? You could start by getting out of my house. This house does not belong to you. Title drop. Check the deed, lady. A deed is only a piece of paper. One that proves this house is my property. Personal property is a social construct. Okay, so it's a sociology game. Those who inhabit a space own it. Let her have the house, why not? Take your house back. I have a rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temp. The homeowner attempts to shut the door on Roger. Angry Roger. Roger swiftly jams his foot between the door and its frame. He presses his face into the gap his foot provides. I don't think you heard me. Roger shoulders the door wide open. The homeowner stumbles back into the kitchen. You forgot your chicken. Stand my ground, I don't trust this woman one bit. I'll get it when you're gone. Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. I have a habit of roosting in untended spaces. Roger hears a car start up right outside. He looks out the window to see what's going on. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears down the road. It can't be. Roger whirls around. The homeowner is no longer in the kitchen. He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he is sure she's gone. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and passed it on to the authorities. Doilies, table runners, oiled drape runners, candles. It seemed like she'd lived there for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. It took Roger an additional half day just to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, she hadn't moved in her own. Then, there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. He remembered the chicken. He decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighborhood for a while. He didn't want to leave the house alone. He started to feel silly about it after a while. A few weeks passed, even. I tried to guess ahead of what it said then, but I didn't. Police couldn't locate his missing car. He bought a junker so he could handle his errands around town. Roger didn't notice the walk from his car to his house anymore. The only thing that worried him is whether or not he could turn his key when he got home. Shadow passes by the window. There we go, that's our first ending. Here you go, that's how quick it is, but we're just not going to leave it there. Let's kick back on so we can skip to the first choice. Yep. I'll have the house, that's fine. Keep the house. I'll take my car and head down to the station. Which car is that? The one I pulled up in. I didn't notice. The only one sitting in the driveway. But sir, that's my car. What in the hell? We get the same thing again. Roger turns just in time to see the car he calls his own reversing into the street. He sees the homeowner wave to him from the driver's seat and disappear down the road. Here, let me help you with that. Ooh. Roger tries to run after his car, but the homeowner grabs hold of his shirt. She slips it off with one deft sweep. I don't like where this is going. Roger spins around, trying to grab hold of his button-down. He feels goosebumps forming on his arms, as if his nipples harden. I don't like where this is going. Give me my shirt back. No need for these either. Oh, down come the trousers. The homeowner grabs the hem of Roger's pants and yanks backward, knocking Roger flat on his back. The homeowner quickly slides off his pants and the remaining articles on his person. Roger lies dazed, with his head pounding from the collision with the ground, or the porch even. Roger wraps his arms around his head and groans. The homeowner glides into the house, slamming the door behind her. Roger pulls himself to his feet. He cups his genitals in his hands and tries to keep warm. He shakes from the cold. Lots more options this time. Seek shelter, I think. With no immediate means of retaking his house, Roger thinks it best to find somewhere to rest. He takes off into the woods in search in his shed, in search of shelter from the elements. Roger finds a grove just before dark. At its center stands an immense hollow tree. Roger crawls inside and huddles against its bark for warmth. It protects him from the biting wind outside. As he settles into a comfortable position, his breathing slows, and he drifts off to sleep. What the fuck is this music? He wakes the next morning to terrible hunger pangs. He crawls out of the tree and onto the dewy forest floor. He scrounges around, looking for food. He happens upon a large growth of mushrooms. Let's eat the mushrooms. Roger consumes the mushrooms. Oh yeah, with a desperate ferocity. They have a bitter taste, but Roger's hunger allows him to chew through it. As his belly fills with the mushrooms, he starts to feel ill. His head begins to spoon. His manner of thought shifts and becomes fluid. Roger sees the world around him as a part of him. Or he as a part of it. A very small part. A moat. The homeowner was right. In part, personal property is a construct, but habitation is not means of ownership. He did not own the immense tree any more after sleeping in it than he did before knowing of it. The moat merely landed on the tree. In the morning, it came upon some mushrooms and began thinking of the world before itself. It surrendered itself to the soil, to the cool damp, to the network, forsaking hunger, forsaking words like Roger and returning home. Ego death. I died by becoming part of the fungal network, that achievement just said. Okay, that's 2. I want to see what happens if we go back for the chicken. Let's skip to take your house back. Get the chicken. Roger turns around to collect his groceries. He sees someone analogous to the homeowner devouring his rotisserie chicken. The homeowner behind Roger grabs a paring knife. The homeowner clamps a hand over Roger's mouth and shoves the blade into his back. Oh, that's exactly why I didn't go for the chicken. Get killed by a paring knife. Oof. Roger tries to bite the homeowner and break free. A hand remains firmly clamped over his mouth. You can taste the tang of her blood with an unexpected acidity. The homeowner gently lowers Roger to the floor. Roger tries to get up, but grows weaker as blood pumps through his heart and out of his back. The homeowner keeps him pinned to the floor and presses down to strain his breathing. Roger grows tired and slips away into a calm and reassuring dark. The homeowner's analog grabs the grocery bags and carries them inside. It sets the bags on the floor and steals a glance at Roger. We have plenty to eat tonight. There may even be enough to store in the freezer. We'll need to dress and quarter it first to see what there is. Now close the door. I won't tolerate a draft. Make it eviler, I guess. The homeowner's analog grabs the door and throws it shut. You didn't get your chicken, but was sustenance for others. The goings-on of the house safeguarded from the eyes of prying neighbours by a door and some drapes. Okay, that was a quick one. Let's get through these. Alright. Well, we know roughly what happens with taking the house back. So let her have the house. She'll then take my clothes off. Break down the door. Roger is a strong man, but not strong enough to break a door down with his bare feet. So instead he takes a swing at the door's window. He feels something warm and slippery pour down his arm as he fumbles with the deadbolt. He manages to get a grip on the lock and slide it open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. The steps indicate the homeowner is headed for the stairs. Shit. Had she found his shotgun? Roger only had a moment to act. Hide and ambush. Roger wasn't sure he could make it to the kitchen and back before the homeowner reached him. He presses himself against the corner wall by the bottom of the stairs, hoping he will remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footfall makes it easy to follow her movements. Roger sees the barrel of his shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs hold of it and rushes around the corner. Homeowner falls back on the stairs. Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. Homeowner stares at Roger and tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of the shotgun down on her face. He presses down, grinding and twisting it into her. A smile peeks out at him from around the gun's stock. She reaches for the trigger. Roger pulls the gun away and brings it down on her face. He does it again, and again, and again, relentlessly fragmenting and distorting her features into a puddle. He was satisfied when he could no longer see her eyes. The police arrived shortly after. A neighbour called 20 minutes earlier due to the sound of breaking glass, followed by repeated muffled blows. As Roger and his defence team could not adequately explain the circumstances leading to him viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home, women police were never able to identify due to excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints, and the lack of documentation. The jury found Roger Cormack guilty of first-degree homicide. The prosecution was able to convince them Roger had kidnapped the woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. Roger now inhabits a cell on death row, awaiting lethal injection. Never ends well for Roger, does it? Alright, let's try waiting it out and then let her have the house. Let's see what else we get. Find help. Driven by the belief he cannot resolve the house theft on his own, Roger runs off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arms and calling out for the vehicle to stop. The cruiser comes to a halt, and an officer steps out from the passenger side. Roger sprints towards him, shouting, attempting to explain his situation. The officer enters a defensive stance and draws his weapon. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. Don't move. Hands. Let me see those hands. They're up. I'm cooperating. Suspect is uncooperative. I'm cooperating. What am I a suspect of? Turn around. I said turn around right now. Roger complies. Walk backward toward me. Roger walks backward towards the officer. Not so fast. Roger stops. In a lethal game of red light, green light. Did I say stop? Roger does not speak, and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up. Roger very slowly walks backward towards the officer. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace. Roger does not hasten his pace, preferring to aggravate the officer rather than do something that could be seen as threatening. That's it. The sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draws near to Roger. Roger hears cuffs being readied behind him. He feels the cold metal press against his wrists. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Roger can feel the cuffs tightening further, cutting off the circulation. Please, officer, I'm cooperating. The officer yanks Roger off the hood, steering him with the chain of his cuffs. The metal digs into Roger's wrist as he fails to anticipate the officer's movements. The officer pushes Roger into the back seat and slams the door. The officer quickly jumps into the front seat and jumps on the radio with dispatch regarding Roger's arrest. Roger's naked body wriggles for several minutes against the leather in the back seat while he attempts to sit up. The officer brings his fist down on the car's dash. Keep it down back there! A few tears stream down Roger's face in the dark. The tears make him feel ashamed, but he cannot suppress how angry and helpless he feels. Please, someone has broken into my house. Look, we're passing by it right now. Just pull over. The old someone stole my house routine. Save it for the judge, junkie. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen and I need help. You don't see many elderly junkies. What are you talking about? The officers sit in total silence as they cruise towards the station. Roger sits back and tries not to exacerbate the situation further. So, you're telling us that you went out shopping and returned home to find your locks were changed? That's right. And I started pounding on the door and some strange woman answered. Strange how? What do you mean? She stole my house. Right, but what has it made her strange to you? How calm she was about it all. Like I was a perfect stranger. Like she belonged there. The officers glance at one another. So you found your locks changed and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door. Yes, but she was in my car as well. So she left your house? No, she was in the house and I turned away and saw her driving away in my car at the same time. A pair of twins, maybe? They were her. In the car and the house, all at once. So what happened to your clothes? She took them, right there on the porch. When I turned to see the car taking off, she slipped my shirt off. Without you even asking? The officers snicker while sharing a look. It's not funny, I was assaulted. Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I wouldn't report her. Yeah, not everyone's a creep, mate. She knocked me down and ripped off my pants. All right, sir. How much have you had to drink this evening? Not a drop. So you're telling me you tried to get into someone else's house in a confused state, thought you saw the two of the same person, and wandered the streets naked. But you haven't had anything to drink. That's not what I said. That isn't even how it happened. You've already given your statement. All I need to know is how much you were drinking. Insist you were sober or confess to drunkenness. I was not drinking. It's true what I said, every word of it. But a note that the subject is not cooperating, and we haven't been able to positively identify him. My name is Roger Cormack. I've already told you that. Sir, you'll be transferred to a new facility in the morning. You can explain the situation to them. What kind of facility? The kind that has the resources necessary to help someone like you. I'm going to a nut house, aren't I? Oh dear God. Roger spent the remainder of his life being shuttled between state mental institutions. None were able to properly identify what ailed him. Without a diagnosis and treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. He raved about the woman who stole his house and his car. The staff learned to tune out his ravings as they did with all other patients, content to consider his ramblings those of a madman. Unspecified nonsense that you can hear pressing your ear to any patient's cell door. I don't know if it will count as skipping if I... So let's just skip through the credits. Let's just see what happens if we confess to drunkenness on that one, shall we? Let her have the house, take my clothes, find help. We haven't waited her out yet, I don't think. It's a long one. Confess to drunkenness. Roger hangs his head in his hands. You're right, officer. I've had a few too many tonight. I don't know what I'm saying. It's alright, old-timer. Just be glad it's not dementia. I'm very grateful. Well, you can spend the night in the junk tank, and we'll release you in the morning. Thank you, officers. Roger spent the last few hours of the evening resting on his cell bench. It was rigid and uncomfortable, but Roger had learned to deal with discomfort in the service. True to his word, the officers released Roger first thing in the morning. Roger received a pair of sweatpants and lost and found to replace his jumpsuit. He had no phone or wallet, and no idea what direction his house was in. He'd never been downtown, and didn't know how to find his way out. He focused on finding shelter and food. He spent each day meeting his fundamental needs. Most passersby refused to look at him. The rest were too frightened by his appearance to speak with him. Everyone kept a safe distance from him. He faded into the crowds and entirely out of memory. Well, that's probably the best ending so far. Not happy, but you know. He's not on death row or died from eating weird mushrooms. Let's see what happens if we just wait it out. Roger was not one to bully others, or be bullied himself. He stood resolutely on his porch, like any respectable citizen would. He spent the first few hours hollering and pounding on his own front door. As it grew late and cold, Roger began to lose feeling in his extremities. His pounding became limp and inconsistent, and his hollers turned to hoarse whispers. He became warm and a bit drowsy. He's going to die of exposure, isn't he? Roger reasoned it was best to get some rest and resume his valiant opposition in the morning. Morning did not come for Roger. He sat on the porch, curled up, and nestled his head against the front door. It was the comfiest and the sleepiest Roger had ever been. The homeowner discovered Roger at dawn, called the police. The cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. He was tagged as a John Doe and placed in a morgue to await cremation. Roger's final moments were warm, and he was not afraid. Okay, well, it's surprisingly sad. Right, I don't think we've got many more that we haven't done, to be honest. Let you have the house. Break down the door is either going to the kitchen, or let's just try that one, and then we can seek shelter and not eat the mushrooms, and I think that will tick off them all. Arm yourself. Roger darts to the kitchen and into the knife block in the kitchen, a mere 15 feet away. He yanks out the butcher's knife and wheels around, heading for the stairs. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty much what I thought was going to happen. A yellow flash and flecks of cinder. Roger lies dead, practically eviscerated by his own shotgun. The homeowner calls the police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labelled a John Doe. It is cremated by the town according to protocol. The local paper released a story about the incident, labelling Roger an unidentified drifter, and the homeowner as a neighbourhood hero. Some locals caught the story and recognised Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it was portrayed Roger as an unstable addict to account for his state of undress and violent behaviour. Local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug abuse. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as an example of a homeowner who defended themselves when police were nowhere in sight. She was paid handsomely to act as the keynote speaker for a variety of clubs and events over the next few years. So we've had the good ending, I guess, is just him looking over his shoulder every time he leaves the house. Every other ending's pretty bad. So I think the only one left is the other ending if we don't eat the mushrooms. Don't eat the mushrooms. Roger wasn't sure if the mushrooms were poisonous or not. He didn't want to risk dying for a single breakfast. He let them be. But the fact remained, he was hungry. He set out for the edge of the forest at a brisk pace. He skulks through the tree line parallel to the road to hide his nakedness. As the forest thins, he ducks into alleys and hides behind garbage cans. He smells something on the breeze, makes him salivate, clench his fists in aggravated longing. Bright red. Something catches Roger's eye. A fire station. They might be able to help. Fire station or follow the scent of food. Go to the fire station. Reason compels Roger to stop at the fire station and seek assistance. He knocks on the front door. The man who answers seems unfazed by Roger's lack of dress. Sir, is it possible the station has clothing it could lend me? Or some food to spare? Or plenty of both. Come on in. Roger is given a baggy t-shirt with a monogram of a defunct company on it, accompanied by some ill-fitting pants. He relaxes knowing he will not be charged with indecent exposure. Terry's in charge of lunch for the station today. He's got pot chili going. Might not be appetizing first thing in the morning. It's what we got. Why does the fireman sound like that? I would appreciate some, thank you. The fireman nods and hurries back with a bowl of chili and a cold beer. Roger isn't normally one for beer, but it's dark and filling. So if you don't mind me asking, what's got you out on the street with your packer hanging out? I went out for some groceries yesterday. When I was out, some woman broke into my house and changed the locks. I couldn't get back in, had to spend the night in the woods. But why was your pegger out? You like shopping naked? No, the woman had an accomplice who broke into my car while I was trying to get into the house. I tried to stop her from taking the car, but the woman in the house jumped me from behind when I did. I took a bad blow to the head. She stripped me on my porch, and our pal took off with my car. The fireman scratches his beard. Why didn't you go to the police? Yeah, it was freezing out and getting dark fast. I didn't know how to find the station. She took my phone, so I just holed up for the night. Glad you made it. Awfully cold last night. Kind of makes it our slow season. I'm just glad I stumbled onto this place. Brick facade helps it stand out. You got any kind of documentation to prove you own that house? Of course. I have the deed in a safety deposit box, but I need my ID to get it. And that bitch took my pants. My wallet's still in them. You think she's still in the house? Or took off in the car with her pal? She had no intention of leaving. I can tell you that. That settles it then. I'll get the blues on the horn and get this sorted out. The fireman lumbers over to the phone on the far wall. A wave of relief washes over Roger, knowing that a civil servant is assisting him. Still, the fireman's reaction to Roger's story troubles him. He doesn't want the fireman thinking of him as a crazy old man. Worse still, Roger worries he is a crazy old man and just doesn't know it yet. Okay. A part of him hopes the woman is still in the house, to prove to himself that's what he thinks really happened. When police arrive at Roger's residence, they find the homeowner barricaded inside the upstairs bedroom, raving that the house is hers. She's been there all her life. It's her childhood home. She demands the police get a warrant to search the premises, but she is unable to provide personal ID or proof of residence. Bearing no legal claim to the property, she cannot refuse them entry. They are unable to locate Roger's wallet, believing the homeowner has destroyed it. Roger's social security card and birth certificate are recovered from the premises, which he uses to acquire the deed from his safety deposit box. With the proper paperwork secured and presented to the authorities, Roger is permitted to entry to his home. The homeowner is taken into police custody. Roger spent the next several years checking in on the homeowner as she was transferred between a variety of state mental institutions. He eventually lost track of her in the system. He nearly forgot about her altogether until his car was recovered. It was unearthed at a site in Nevada where BlackRock was breaking ground on the construction of a new housing complex. Roger put the car out of his mind. He didn't allow himself to worry about the homeowner. He kept his shotgun at his bedside and slept easy. Okay, so this is the good ending. Good old fireman, eh? Right, let's try what happens if we ignore the fireman. And we go and follow the scent of food. Roger's hunger takes hold of him. He demands satisfaction, so he follows the scent in the air. He finds his way to the nearby Ultra store. A welcomer at the door barely notices him, distracted by a handheld gaming device. Roger wanders the vacant halls of the store until he finds men's clothing. He grabs a simple outfit, a pair of socks and some sneakers. Then he heads straight for the ready-made meals by the self-checkout, piping hot pizzas for breakfast. Roger grabs one of the boxes and takes a seat on the floor in front of the display. He uses the box as a plate and chomps down on the warm treat. A bit sleepy but satisfied, Roger takes a moment to think. With some warm clothes and a full stomach, the answer strikes him almost immediately. Roger shuffles out of the store, leaving discarded pizza boxes and tags in his wake. He makes his way to the ATM outside the store's entrance, a set arm into automation orifice. What the fuck? Roger reads the display and looks down. He sees the ATM's orifice. He slides his arm inside. It is cold, pulsating. Roger looks up at the display. His fingers grope around inside the orifice for the keypad. Feels the raised shape of the numbers on the keys. He pokes his pin into the pad. The fuck? The ATM produces his funds. Roger pays for the clothes and pizza while checking out some additional supplies. What the fuck was that? Roger had never committed the criminal act. He was distressed to discover how easy it was. At his own house in broad daylight. No one paid any attention as he unhooked the hose up to the gas tank outside of the house. No one batted an eye when he broke the kitchen window, or ran the gas tank's hose through it. Not even when he threw the Zippo inside. The neighbourhood only took notice when they heard the result. The fire department was the first to arrive on the scene. Roger was impressed by their response time. Thankfully, their investigative abilities left much to be desired. They declared the fire a natural accident caused by a gas leak. Roger was able to claim the full amount in his insurance policy and use the money to buy a home closer to his grandchildren. Okay. Okay, well, I think that's probably about it. I don't think it will show me if I've missed any endings, but I'm pretty sure that's all of them. So that was This Is Not Your House. I rather like that. It was a small little silly experience. So yeah, as we've only gone in about half the time, I shall be back in a moment with the second part of this 2-part episode. Welcome to When You See It, the second half of our double bill creep week. This is a sort of observation duty style game, I think, but it's more like finding things in still images, but it should give us some jump scares, because, you know, that's what we all want. So let's just dive right in. We've got 25 minutes of When You See It. Okay, I think we're choosing what we're seeing. I think that's a clown. It's a spider. Werewolf. Zombie. Yeesh. Let's start with a clown, I suppose. I got off work late that night. My eyes beheld an eerie... Luckily, I caught the last bus. After I sat down, I realized my phone was dead. I eventually fell asleep. I woke up at the last stop. I found myself in an unfamiliar part of town. I kept walking, looking for anyone. But the streets were empty. Then I saw someone. It's a clown. When I got closer, I realized it was a clown. It looked at me and smiled. I mean, clowns always smile. I ran when it started laughing. Yeah, I don't blame you. Press spacebar when you see it. So when I see a clown, I mash spacebar to make clown go away. So I got 3 lives, basically. Oh, there it is. It's on the left. There's 1 down. I don't get much of a time to see it, do you? There he is. He's in the vent. Got you that time, fucker. I see no clown. Oh god, this isn't going well. See him up there, he's behind the chimney. Oh, not this one again. I'm going to get clowned, I can feel it. I don't see him. He's gonna clown me. Is that him? Yeah, that's him. Okay. Oh god, this one, is that him on the left? I don't know. Can't tell what that is. Okay, no, it wasn't him. Don't clown me, bro. I'm still not seeing a clown. There he is. I saw his weird little wrinkled face. How long does this go on for? I've detected this fucking clown for plenty of times. Show me your wrinkled face, motherfucker. Gotcha. That's pretty close to the end there. Oop. Does that mean he's now here somewhere? Or is it just reminding me I'm close to death? Oh no, it's just fucking with me. Gotcha, just in time again. It's just making it harder to see him by fucking around with the... There we go. Well, that's There's the clown. It wasn't actually as scary as I thought it was going to be. Because there's like no like build up to the jump scare. It's just sort of, hello, I'm a clown. Well, there you go. That's the clown. Let's see what else we got. None of these are really my sort of things I'm afraid of. So let's just go down the list, eh? Let's see, spiders. Do we get a little story for each of them? Yeah. I was exploring this cave for several days. There was one tunnel left to map. I made my way to the back of the cave, and I found the tunnel. It grew narrower the deeper I went. Eventually, oh, don't nutty putty yourself, eventually I had to crawl. At the end of the tunnel was a door. Oh, don't you open that, mate. It's always a bad idea. Curious, I opened it. And there was a spider. It seemed to be an abandoned mine shaft. Further in, I found something. It was a dead miner covered in spiderwebs. I heard a sound behind me. Press spacebar when you see it. Okay. Looking for a big old spider. Oh, there it is, yeah. Let's see for the black splodge with the legs. I don't see a black splodge with legs. That probably is somewhere. Nope. Any black splodges? Yep, there we go. It's a difficult one to see. Let's go look for a black splodge and then see if you can see things coming off of it, like there. It's a smaller spider than perhaps I was expecting. There we go. Don't see it here. Not seeing it there either. Oh, okay, it was down there. Wow, that's hidden. This is going to be difficult. It's going to be a quick one, I think. Where are you, fucker? So, yep. There's a new picture. There you are. Seems to pay to check the corners first. There you are. Thank you for that. I guess the cameras get progressively messed up as you get closer to your goal. There you are. Okay, that's really what Spider's mouth looks like. Maybe I don't have the volume up enough for this game. But when you're sort of bracing yourself for a jump scare every time you can't see one, it doesn't really hit as hard. Let's just move through and do one shot each with the time we've got, I think. Wolfie. I went hunting deep in the forest. It didn't take long to find a deer. Deer what? I took the shot. Unfortunately, I only wounded it. Good job. I followed it deeper into the woods. It led me into a dense fog. I heard something howling in the distance. I gripped my rifle tighter. I eventually found the deer. It was partially eaten. I heard a growl behind me. So spacebar when you see it. See the wolfie. There he is. See a little snarling face. Looking for an angry boy. I'm not seeing a snarling boy anywhere. Oh, this tension is just too much now. I think you're doing this on purpose. To mash space just because there he is. It's got to be in one of these. This is tricky with all the brush cover. There he is. Saw his leg. There he is, trying to hide behind a log. Well, didn't see him down in the corner there. Should really scan the corners. Yes, you're very angry. God, that's really going to hinder on this one. Yeah, it's just a big old log up there. Stop that. God, he really doesn't show up much in these, does he? Oh, there he is. Should have been right in front of me. Okay. Hey, I think I survived one. That was pure luck though, I just jabbed, I didn't actually see him. I shot at the beast. It was a reflex spacebar, and it stopped following me. I hiked back through the fog and found my truck again. Then I left the forest for good. Probably a good chap. That's it. Didn't go and tell anyone that maybe there was a big old scary werewolf in the forest? No? Okay. Well, I completed one. I got 1 out of the 5. Let's move on to zombie, I'm guessing this is. I was walking my dog in the park when he saw a squirrel and ran off. I chased him into a wooded area. There was a graveyard on the other side. I thought it might be in a graveyard. I heard more barking, so I climbed the fence. I followed the sound deeper into the graveyard. Almost woods. Got the last one on my brain. It was growling at something inside the tomb. And dogs just lead you into all kinds of shit, don't they? I look closer at the doorway. There it is. A creature stared back at me. They're about to get zombified. Spacebar when you see it. Don't know what it looks like, which probably doesn't help. There it is. It's just a screaming man. There he is. Hello, screaming man. I see no screaming man. Oh, there. Oh, okay, he was right there. It's difficult when he's right up in your grill like that. You know, you're looking in the far distance and he's like screaming at you next to your ear. There he is, leaning in from out of shot. I should have my mouse so I could track over things. That'd actually really help. I've really not looked at this one, so hopefully he's not here. He's there. Okay. Kind of dropped the ball on the ghoul a little bit. The ghoul ball. I hate when they lean in like that. I'm expecting to see their body and it's just... He's just leaning in, staring right at me, you know? This one's tough. We're about to get ghoul done, I think. Ladies and gents. Brace for ghoul. Got him, just in time. He almost got me. Again, just in time. They're like tucking him away in the shadows. Our ghoulish friend. My ghoulish friend. I'm just singing to myself to brace for what is going to be happening very soon, I think. Hey, okay, he didn't actually look that bad. His eye, he's clearly got over his eye problem. There you go, that's the ghoul. So let us, this might not be 25 minutes, but that's fine. Let's just check out the rat, the weird rat. That's our last one. And then, leave it there. This has been more entertaining than I thought. I am an avid toy collector. Oh, is it going to be like the Five Nights at Freddy style? There's one left that I need to finish this collection. A vintage Mr. Mouse. Yeah, it kind of is. It's like with Chucky, but it's a mouse. There were none for sale online. But I learned something interesting in the forums. Okay. An old toy factory nearby used to make Mr. Mouse. Yes, let's go into a weird toy factory. Rumour was there were still some inside. Yes. Not sure why they'd leave product behind. It took me 4 hours to drive there. I guess it went out of business. That's probably why, but you think that someone would just flog it. For a second I thought I saw something. Press spacebar when you see it in the window. Then it disappeared. Mr. Mouse is watching you. I went inside the factory. There we go. Press spacebar when you see it. Good-chick. Mr. Mouse. There we go. Oh, Mr. Mouse. Look for his big doofy ears. seriously? Okay, I've got to look for feet as well. It's not going to go well for me. We're getting moused. There's a mouse in the house. He's out for blood. Because I've only seen him once. Oh my god, he's so hard to spot. I guess it's the way he's the final level. Well, I get moused immediately. I can't see this fucking mouse at all. Yeesh. There he is. Found him. that was a really short one to end on. But I think we'd best leave it there. That was an interesting little game. Different way of doing things. Yeah, I could not see that mouse at all, to be honest. But we managed to complete one at least. I think another shot and I'd complete the spider, because that wasn't too bad. But once you get the shape of them down, then it's easier. But you just need to remember to look in the foreground more. Either way, thank you very much for sticking with me for these two games. Do check out both of them on Steam. And I hope you have a spooky time. And I shall see you for more Creep Week. Goodbye.